What's going on, world? Coming at you guys again. We got another quick video. Loyalty. Let's talk about it. So recently, spreading through social media is the topic of loyalty. And these references come on the heels of a time of turmoil to where we have the capacity to continue to push forward and to push outward instead of pushing inward. Now, the specific situations in which we are referring to at this point in period of time are the statements made by, I believe, Sean Hannity, whom has the objective capacity to speak negatively about Catholicism based off of the current Pope, Pope Leo's position or juxtaposition to President Trump, stating, I believe, that he no longer recognizes or believes that he should practice Catholicism. Now, that's just one iteration and one inference. There's also a growing trend amongst Americans by the plethora whom are questioning their commitment as well as loyalty and support to President Trump. This is why these things go hand in hand. When you are devout, when you are a supporter, when you truly believe in something, it would take an act of God to shift or deviate your perspective or position. Comments from the current Pope in which juxtapose another individual's actions should not be great enough for you to abandon your faith in your religion. The minimal actions in which President Trump has implemented throughout his candidacy and presidency during this term and iteration have been of the utmost importance to the country as a whole. Now, I understand that you may not understand the actions or plans of President Trump, but we all know President Trump to be an individual whom keeps his cards close to his chest. He doesn't like to go out and speak publicly about his true intentions. So while his immediate actions have some form of conflict in previous communications in which he utilized to promote his candidacy for president, it does not mean that he's abandoned those concepts or principles. You have to remember, Donald Trump has children, multiple children. To believe that Donald Trump's mother and father, are from Germany, his grandparents were from Germany, right? His father was born in Brooklyn or the Bronx. But the fact still remains that his ancestry comes from Germany. And as it stands, I am not aware of any of his family members residing or living or expatriating to Germany or any other foreign country. To my understanding, they built their empire here. His children are solidifying themselves here. America is the most diverse country on the planet. we have nothing but time and room to grow. The actions of what Donald Trump is trying to facilitate are in the best interest of the country. I wholeheartedly believe this. And while these actions might conflict with your personal beliefs, the choices and actions in which take place, in which you don't agree with, does not always mean that they're not the most appropriate. I've said this before. In order for America to move forward, we have to look outward. We cannot look inward. For if we were to look inward, it would cause a collapse of society as we know it. We should put measures in place to prevent past actions. That is without a doubt. But we cannot be so caught up on revenge and vengeance and control that we lose sight of the bigger picture for what we are trying to accomplish. Yes, we have individuals whom have questionable character. And yes, these individuals should be heavily monitored to ensure that moving forward, there is enough information in which clearly has the capacity to be made public, in which will prevent not only them, but individuals in the future whom find themselves in the same mindset in which they will be deterred or prevented from repeating. But now is the time for all Americans to unite. For if we do not unite, we will fall. And through chaos, we will crumble. I've talked to you guys about this for quite a while now. I hope you really understand the severity of the situation in which we find ourselves. Because just as you do not promote or support the ideology of American soldiers going into a foreign land to wage warfare and combat, I can only assume that you would not support and condone American soldiers and American citizens waging war and combat on other American citizens.